So we're with the TSA Administrator. So Administrator Huerta, I'm sorry for being late. Let me ask you just a couple of quick questions. One of the patterns I'm seeing in some of the agencies is that they're having a hard time hiring people. And again, I don't know if you covered that here, but I know that in Homeland and other agencies, they've been having trouble. Usually it takes over a year, and I don't know if you've ever gone into job.gov, I think, and gone through that. It's a rather complicated process. It takes a long time. Do you have any way of getting some of your folks hired that's a little bit more expedited? And I do understand, you need the STEM training. There's a different type of training that goes into the folks that you hire. But do you have anything, and I'm sorry if I missed something when I wasn't here, but is there something that you're doing to expedite your hiring?
Sure. We did talk a little bit about that, but just on a high level, what we did talk about is we're in a catch-up mode, particularly for the air traffic controller series. We have a target this year of hiring some 1,600 plus people, which we're going to beat. We're well on track to doing that, and we did that by opening up two series, two ways to get in there: an experience track and an inexperienced track. And right now we have about 2,400 plus people that are in vetting for these 1,600 positions, and we have close to 900 of them that were already placed at the FAA Academy or in facilities. And so I think we're well on track to doing that, but we're continuing to try to find ways to shrink that time period that it takes to get people in the system.
So what is the time that it normally takes, and what are you trying to shrink that to?
Well, it's well under a year, in our case. What we have is we've gone to a process for controllers where we open up a job announcement annually where anyone can apply. And so what we want to have is, a fresh list that we're going through every year. If someone is an experienced or a former military controller, it's even faster than that, because they already have the experience, and as long as they pass the base qualification, they may be in a position where they also don't have to go to the FAA Academy for training, where they're able to go directly to a facility. For someone off the street, though, once they come into the system, it can take a good 2 years to get them fully certified as a controller. Now that doesn't mean that they're waiting. That means they're in training. That means they're assigned to a facility, and they're getting checked out and certified on different levels of complexity of procedures. But to get them fully certified, in our most complex facilities will take several years.
Following up on what Mr. Jenkins said about local facilities that sometimes need, and I understand there's been sequestration, there's been delays, there's been CRs, I understand all that, but same thing, I have a tower in Laredo that we've been trying to work on, and we've been working with Mr. Vaughn Turner from your office and other folks. My question is, are you authorized to do public-private partnerships? Let's say we have a local entity that wants to help on a construction of a tower, and are you authorized? Because I know some agents, we had to do that for Homeland to allow them to do some of that work, but are you authorized to do public-private partnerships, accept contributions from, let's say, a local government?
Yes. Yeah. We have done that in a number of instances there where a local entity, it may be that a tower or another facility, because it's relatively new relative to peer facilities, and so it may not rank as high, in terms of a replacement cycle, but the airport or the local government may have a compelling interest to move that forward, at a more accelerated rate. And yes, we do have the ability to cost share with them.
Okay. I got just a few seconds left. You know what Chairman Schuster is proposing, and I'm sure you covered this before I got here. We've been very supportive of what Mr. Schuster has been doing on issues, but on the privatization issue, and I've supported privatization issues in the past, but when they take the appropriations away from us, we have a problem with that. So The reason I say this is Mr. Schuster's doing this, Chairman Schuster's doing this because he feels that y'all are not being responsive enough. And what do you tell us as members of the appropriators? And I assume everybody, I think both of y'all wrote the letter saying we want to, we want to control the oversight, the appropriations, the purse strings. How do you respond to that? Because I've heard it from both sides, and I'm sticking with my appropriators here because I think we need to control the purse string. But how do you respond to the other argument?
Well, the principal argument that we've heard the proponents talking about has been delays to the modernization of the system and so forth. And what we have been very, very focused on is how we deliver benefits under Next Gen. I'd be happy to share with you. I know that we're running out of time here. There are a number of we've made great progress in deploying the core infrastructure and in deploying beneficial and accelerated and advanced navigation procedures that are yielding real benefits in terms of fuel savings, cost savings, and so forth for the users of the system. And it's a longer conversation. I know we're out of time, but I'd be happy to share that with you.
Thank you, Mr. Administrator.